Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 20, His Way, which that in itself is actually, the title is a joke for the Frank Sinatra song, My Way, which is a fantastic song. So this is the episode that introduces Vic Fontaine, the self-aware hologram that we will see throughout the rest of the series, all the way in, even into the series finale. And it's just a great episode. It's a great character that we finally get to meet. So at this point, Voyager had already been well into production. We're well into several seasons. And so we've seen the Doctor, who's a self-aware hologram. And so they decided to bring kind of that aspect character into Deep Space Nine with Vic Fontaine, who's played by the amazing James Darren, who's a great singer. I have one of his albums. And so he's kind of this, he's a club singer, and he's very in tune with people. And so like we see a bunch of people come in, and he immediately, just looking at facial tics and movement and stuff like that, he's like, oh, Dax and Worf are married. Oh, Dr. Bashir's clearly seeing somebody new. And he looks at Kira and Odo, and he's like, oh, not even gonna go there, that's too much baggage, and keeps going. And so most of this episode is just kind of about Odo and Major Kira kind of trying to come together, because we've seen them like dance around it for seasons now. And even in this episode, she talks about how she's seeing Shakar again, but like she doesn't really want to admit it. And probably my favorite aspect about this episode is Odo goes to Vic Fontaine and talks about how he wants to be with Kira. And so Fontaine like makes this hologram of Kira, and Odo's like, that's not real. And so Fontaine somehow or another manages to jump into one of Kira's like holo suite programs, and is like, hey, why don't you come over to this one at this time? And so she shows up, and he talks to Odo, and he's like, so I have a hologram of Kira showing up. And so Odo shows up thinking it's a hologram, and neither one quite know what's going on. And it's this perfect date, and they finally confess all of the things that they wanted to say to each other, until finally you get to the end of the date and they realize, oh, this is actually real. This is not a hologram. And Vic is actually the one that's like, end hologram. And the room shuts down. And finally Kira and Odo like just don't talk to each other for a while until we see them on the promenade. And it's probably one of my favorite like scenes of Deep Space Nine, where he's like, oh, I'm sure you want to go out again. And she's like, well, maybe I do. Well, then we'll go dancing. And then what? Well, maybe we'll kiss. Well, let's just get it out of the way and kiss right now. And it kind of reminds me of like the Woody Harrelson movie, Annie, and where he's like, you know, like if we see a movie, we're just going to be distracted. Why don't we just get the kiss out of the way? And we finally see Odo and Kira have that kiss moment together. And Dax shows up, and Quark shows up, and everybody's like, wow, they finally did it. Like, it's about damn time, basically. And it's just a great episode overall to watch this new character and to watch Odo and Kira finally come together, which again, we'll see that for the rest of the series. I don't know, I really enjoyed it, seeing them finally come together. For those who have seen this episode, what did you think about Vic Fontaine? Like, did you like the character? Do you not like the character? What do you think about Odo and Kira being together? I mean, they've known each other for like 10 years at this point, because they knew each other before the series even started, when it was still Terra Nor. So what do you think about them being together? And just what do you think overall? We're finally coming to the end of Season 6, so what do you guys think about the season? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for everything. I will see you guys next time for The Reckoning.